Hello citizens, Sir 6 here. Today we discuss the topic of fleet support. Let's get to it. The one thing I know for sure that brought people to this game was the potential of the PvP gameplay. Now, for those of you who do not know, I personally enjoy the logistical profession within the verse. In most games, I've always been the type of person that works behind the scenes. And even in my real life professions to this day, I've been worked behind the scenes in order to support the overall objective. Although I don't mind combat myself, but when push comes to shove, the majority of my fleet is industrial and combat logistics. Logistics overall involve many daunting tasks, but in terms of combat, in a fleet of course, it focuses on the 3 Bs. And that is Bears, Beets, and Battlestar Galactica. Just kidding. Really though, it's beans, bullets, and Bandaids, so keeping your team and your ships in the fight. In terms of industry focused on logistics, this is because I go by the fact of why buy it when I could just build it myself? Why buy ships, components, and their upgrades when I could just get the materials needed from salvaging, mining, or exploration and provide resources to my fleet, my org, allies, and potential customers within the verse. However, this all boils down to finding your niche within Star Citizen. And pertaining to each job role that I just mentioned, you should definitely check out the Noobifier's Job series. I'll link it in the description below. In those videos, he goes into depth about what you need to know pertaining to a specific job field that you may or may not want to do within the verse. However, a lot of orgs I come across pride on the fact that they are a well-organized military group, either between mercenaries or pirates. And just like in a functioning society, in order for these organizations to maintain their dominance, fleet readiness, cash flow, and resources, they should take into consideration of the cost it might be to maintain a fleet and the resources necessary to perform their jobs. So, what I'm trying to say is maintaining your ship has an overall cost, and I would suspect in the future, a logistical ship might provide a more cost-effective benefit on and off the battlefield than attempting to go to a remote place and getting repaired by NPCs or a station. When going there, costs could increase and could also take you out of the battle when doing fleet operations. And even for pirates, if this place you're jumping to does not like you due to poor standings, then it might be a little bit more of a hassle or near impossible to get the necessary supplies for the next objective. So my logic behind this is, why do I personally need to fight when I can just keep the good fight going? There are a lot of orgs who have different divisions to cover these areas where combat ships fall short, because it's good to have a healthy balance. This also includes PvE. If a majority of players are doing combat within an area, not only do I have potential customers providing logistics, but they also can stay out longer and run more missions. Of course, supply and demand come into all this in terms of seeing what can cost more, between going to the station and resupplying, or allowing the player to resupply you at the expense of your cash. Only then you'll be providing a convenience of being closer. And once these said mechanics for rearming, repairing, and refueling come in, I'd hope more and more players who set this game on the shelf to collect dust will brush it off in an attempt to try it again to see what roles they can fill. I'm quite aware that NPCs are going to do some of the lifting in terms of player services when they call for assistance. But I just hope it does not stop people from attempting to try to fill these roles for themselves. To me personally, it would be very lucrative to set up shop in a sector where there is not a rest stop nearby, but there is, however, decent NPC bounties to grab. So, instead of a person flying far distances to do a bounty, and then go back to the nearest service facility, and then just to come back to a similar area to do another bounty, you have either a support ship nearby ready to top you off, or for the logistical pilots who fly solo and want to try to make a profit, you can set up nearby and offer your services. If you want to know more about logistics in Star Citizen, then I encourage you to check out my Combat Logistics series. I break down my thoughts on certain ships in the game and ways to use them in and out of a fleet. If you personally enjoyed this and got something out of this video, then I would ask you to consider liking it and possibly sharing it with a buddy or to anyone who you know would think would enjoy this information. Also, feel free to tell me your thoughts on fleet support mechanics in the comments below, and consider subscribing if you enjoy my content overall. But until next time, fellow citizens, I will see you on the flip side.